I don't know about you guys, but the second that last Fable trailer dropped, I was locked in. It's been over a decade since we got a mainline entry into this franchise, and just seeing it come back like this, it feels different. And honestly, it feels exactly what gaming needs right now. The trailer didn't just show flashy combat or cinematic moments. It showed systems, it showed depth, and it showed ambition. One thing that immediately stood out to me was the economic and social mechanics. The fact that you can literally become a slumlord and price people out of their homes, it's wild. It feels like it has this classic Fable energy, but pushed even further. And the craziest part to me is that this world is supposed to contain over 1,000 unique NPCs. Not just copy and pasted clones, but unique characters who are going to remember your actions. And that's the thing that has me really excited for this game. If you decide to jack up the rent and force families out of their homes, they don't just disappear, they're gonna remember that. The world reacts. Your reputation isn't just a number floating in a menu somewhere. It's lived in. That kind of reactive world design is just something we don't really see enough of anymore. This game doesn't look like anything else out on the market. And it doesn't look like it's just chasing trends. And thankfully, it doesn't look like it's trying to be the next big live service cash machine, or built around battle passes or cosmetic shops. It looks like a handcrafted single player RPG. And I genuinely think that's what gamers want right now. Let's be honest. Big AAA studios have abused gamers' trust over the last few years. We've seen half-finished launches, we've seen aggressive monetization, and we've seen an obsession with live service models that nobody was asking for in the first place. Studios keep pushing away from strong single-player experiences, and then act surprised when games that focus on quality and player freedom absolutely explode. Look at Baldur's Gate 3. A massive RPG with deep systems and player choice. That game didn't just succeed, it dominated. Then you have games like Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which are generating hype because they look unique, focused, and creatively driven. Players are hungry for passion projects, for worlds that feel lived in, and games that respect their time. And for me personally, this new Fable title looks like a step in the right direction. A fresh start is exactly what Fable needed. It's been over a decade since Fable 3 released, and that's a long time. The industry's changed, technology's changed, and player expectations have also changed. Trying to pick up exactly where things left off might feel kind of outdated at this point. Instead, we're kind of getting a reboot and a fresh start for Albion, and I think that's the smartest choice they could have made. This gives developers room to modernize systems, reimagine the tone, and introduce Fable to an entirely new generation of gamers, while still keeping the DNA that made Fable special in the first place. Fable has always been about choice, consequences, humor, and that slight fairy tale vibe. If they can preserve that core identity while also evolving everything else, I think that would be the ideal situation, and just moving beyond good and evil. One of the biggest changes, and honestly one of the things I'm happiest about, is that they're moving away from the traditional binary good and evil morality system. As iconic as the glowing halo and the devil horns were, I think it was just too simple. You were just either good or bad. But it seems like now you're making real decisions that aren't just that clean and cut. Now it sounds like morality is being handled in a more complex, nuanced way, and I love that direction. Instead of the universal good meter, your actions will impact individuals and communities differently. You might make a decision that benefits one group of people, but hurts the other. You might marry someone, treat them poorly, and divorce them, and they don't just reset to being a generic NPC. They'll remember it all, and that history is going to stick. If you exploit the economy and price people out of their homes, that isn't just going to be a stat change. Those people exist in the world, and they might resent you. That to me is so much more interesting than just seeing a morality bar move left or right. It makes you think about your choices in a deeper way. Not just good or evil, but who is this going to affect? It's that kind of complexity that makes role-playing feel real. And the promise of 1,000 unique NPCs makes this even more exciting. If they pull this off, we're talking about a world where your reactions ripple out to everything. Imagine walking into a town where people are whispering about you as soon as you get there because of something you did hours ago in the game. Or running into someone you wronged earlier in the game and seeing how your actions affected their lives. That's the kind of immersion that keeps me hooked in RPGs. Not just bigger maps not just more quests, but having a world that remembers you like that, and combat looks incredibly dynamic. Now, Fable combat in the past was fun, but it never really had the deepest systems. It was charming, but somewhat repetitive. This new version looks completely revamped. This newest trailer showed off fluid style weaving, slashing with a sword and seamlessly following it up with a spell, in one smooth motion. That blending of melee and magic combat together looks incredibly satisfying. It looks fast, it looks responsive, and it looks modern. And it sounds like combat encounters will mix enemy types, so instead of just hacking away through the same enemy type in one combat, you'll have to do a little bit more thinking about your positioning. You'll have close range enemies attacking you, while ranged enemies are pressuring you to move. There'll even be different enemy behaviors that require you to adapt on the fly. I think that kind of encounter will keep combat engaging for a long time. Hopefully it'll keep things from getting stale 15 hours into the game. And if they can nail the weight of the sword swings, the impact of spells, and the rhythm of chaining abilities, this could end up being one of the most satisfying combat systems in an RPG that we've seen in a while. More than anything though, what has me excited is that this game feels like it really has passion behind it. You can usually feel when a game is designed by a committee rather than being designed by people who genuinely care about the world that they're creating. This doesn't just feel like a project chasing quarterly projections. It feels like a team trying to bring back something special. And right now that matters more than ever, because gamers are tired. We can't keep getting these half-finished launches and being treated like wallets. We're tired of games feeling like they were designed around monetization first and fun second. If this new Fable game delivers on even half of what it's promising, a reactive world, complex choices, dynamic combat, and strong writing, it could genuinely remind people why they fell in love with RPGs in the first place. For me, this isn't just about nostalgia. If Fable succeeds as a big, ambitious, single-player RPG that respects player agency and builds a living world, that'll send a message. It tells AAA studios that we want complete experiences. We want passion. We want worlds we can get lost in. And if more studios follow that example, it's a win for all of us. My name is Kyle Dish, and if you guys like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave me some comments about how you feel about the Fable series down below, and what other videos you think I could do in the future.